And I love the argument, but I'm not buying the argument because when I go and buy something and the seller signs off as on the bill of sale, I don't take his driver's license home with me and put it in the drawer with the bill of sale. This, to me, if the driver's license for Aaron Robert Zachary is found where this is and the buyer information is blank, this is what he's getting ready to pass off when he sells that stolen skid steer. Look, here's the ID. He's my buddy. Here's the bill of sale. He signed off. We're going to put your name in here and send you on your way with this $20,000 piece of equipment. That's what this looks like to me. He thought there was probable cause means nothing. That's not the only thing. We've got the officer's testimony that he met a guy that not only had the serial numbers, if they're not his, how did he have the serial number for him? He also had the tracker for the equipment to show the officer, this is where the tracker shows my equipment is. Just a random guy going down the street's not going to have that to show the officer. And it's a probable cause hearing. Do they have problems to convict him in front of a trier of fact? Absolutely. All right, let me stop you. You're not saying, this argument's not going to the search warrant. This argument's going to the bind over because they didn't prove anything was stolen. I'm going to cut you off.
Oh.
I got a whole bunch of examples.
Okay.
And whether or not he thought there was probable cause means nothing.
Got it.
Because he didn't sign the search warrant.
Okay. Well, you know where I'm going.
I do.
Okay. You'd agree also within that within the information that you saw, I'm gonna mark this as your using a, are you negotiating? Well, I'm using A letters. Oh, no, this is it.
You're going to use whatever Heather wants you to use.
Yes, you was.
Letters, okay?
You want me to-
Letters or numbers?
Do letters.
Is it for yours?
It's for me.
We can do letter.
Okay. May I approach it?
Yes.
And I will do letters.
So just one.
Yes. Thank you. May I approach the witness here?
Sure.
Oh, you'd agree that this is an item that was taken from the property also, is that correct?
I don't recall this. I was outside. I didn't see the property that came in. I did not categorize the property.
Okay, now you'd agree, are you gonna sit there together? Oh. Yes. So I would move for the entry of exhibit A.
With a stipulation for the people that'll come in.
Now you'd agree that that particular document proposes itself to be a bill of sale, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you recognize in that particular document, it has a serial number that's consistent with the skid steer in your police report, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Not the one in question, however. That's for a second skid steer that was found in the back of the property.
okay, fair enough. All right, now, let me ask you this. So now, you indicated in this report that it's a 2021 skid steer. You would agree that in the search warrant, it indicates a 2021 cat skid steer with the serial number consistent with this particular report, is that correct? Let me show you if I.
Yeah.
I'll finish this up. You would agree that I'm showing you the search warrant and affidavit, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you'd agree that there's a serial number here, number CW910222, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
You'd agree that on this bill of sale, there's a serial number, CW910222.
Yes, sir.
Okay, those are considered, I just said the same thing, is that correct?
Yes.
And that's what's on the bill of sale that was taken, what was constituted as having been taken from that property, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Oh.
Yes, sir.
You would agree that that information, may I published in the report?
Sure.
All right. You would agree that that information throws into conflict your belief of a stolen particular item, is that correct?
Sir, you would give me a minute to look over my report.
Please.
See if I can find a piece of categorized evidence that was in the house that would relate to that bill of sale that you had.
Sure.
Please.
If it helps you answer that question or refresh it.
Yes, sir. I just want to make sure. I want to see if it's in here if my memory is serving me correctly.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh,
Yes, sir.
yeah. So on page 5 of the report, sir.
Okay.
Yeah. Of the report, sir.
Okay.
Going to be on number 2599, page 5. It's gonna be listed as identification documents.
Okay.
That was the driver's license was in the home, in the desk that Mr. Abraham worked at. It
Okay.
was the same name that was used on the bill of sale. And I worked midnights, so 10:15 was the midnight shift for me. That bill of sale was labeled 10:14 after the vehicle had been stolen.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, but using your investigative wheels, it would suggest to you that there's a transaction that took place. It could have been a transaction that took place after the sale by this individual who you described as, would it be Aaron, Robert, Zachary, Casey?
I believe that's the name that was on exhibit D. Sir.
Okay, you're talking about this is a valid piece of identification, is it not?
The one that he had in his desk, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, and did anybody do any research to determine who that individual was?
I'm unaware.
Okay.
I just want to make sure I understand it. There was a driver's license or a piece of ID in the home on eCourse in the name of Aaron Robert Zachary.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And there was a different picture of a different individual on that license, is that right? Was it not?
It was
It wasn't
not.
Mr. Ibrahim.
It was not.
Oh,
Okay.
thank you.
You're welcome. Mr. Mohammed, any questions for this officer?
That is very brief. So did you determine that the items were stolen just on the Lincoln police report, or was that including the discussion of the victim as well?
Both.
So what exactly did the victim tell you in regards to the permission to use that property? Did the defendant have permission?
Objection. It's hearsay.
1101B8, that's whether the defendant had permission to use the property.
Withdrawn.
That's why I like you. Go ahead.
I was informed that the property was stolen and no permission was given.
Okay. And that victim described those items, correct? Alright. And when you recovered those items, the ones that you described earlier, the heavy equipment that was stolen, did you return it yourself to the victim? Or did you observe someone do it, or?
The Royal Cement crew came and retrieved. None of us had the experience to drive that skid steer out.
Okay, and did you observe that happen?
Yes.
Alright. And I believe earlier you mentioned that the pinging led you to the precise location where the items were.
Yes.
Alright. Now, besides the driver's license and the defendant being at that location, was there anything else that you did that would reflect that he's the homeowner of that location?
When I asked him if I could search his property,
Beyond the scope, I never asked if he was the home.
Yeah, I think it does go beyond scope. He did.
So,
And I got a memory good enough for that.
alright, no further questions.
Any redirect or recross? Yeah.
You would agree that this evidence, you believe to be stolen evidence, correct?
yes, sir.
At the time that you're in the process of an investigation, even before he's even booked and lodged, this property was given back to what you believe to be the person who claimed it was stolen?
I am unaware of the timeline, sir.
Okay, but shortly, within the night, it was given back,
Yes, sir.
not retained,
No, sir.
not placed on hold for evidentiary purposes.
No, sir.
Nothing further.
Officer Matson, step down. Can we send him back to work? I'm assuming he's
Yes.
working today.
No, I worked all night.
And
Did you? Now go home and get some sleep. Be safe.
Thank you, sir.
You did a real nice job on the stand.
Appreciate you, sir.
And Merry Christmas.
Judge, I'm gonna call one more witness and it's an offer of proof. It's just in regards to the price of the stolen items.
Okay. Who is it?
For the purpose of this exam, I don't have an issue with.
Okay,
You'll stipulate that it's $20,000 or more?
there's no further comments. And no further witnesses.
For the purposes of exam purposes, we don't.
Appreciate the stipulation. So you're ready for argument? Because he already told me he's not putting witnesses on.
Correct.
Still saying. All right, so I'm ready. I'm ready for argument.
Your Honor, I think several different issues prevent the bind over at this point. One, I believe that as you look at that search warrant, as you look at the information.
I think you, oh, I got it. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Hey, what transpired in here? There's a declaration of unstolen property that is without any any steps of investigation to determine. And in that report, it doesn't suggest, or excuse me, not report.
Affidavit.
That the affidavit that leads to them even being able to, because essentially when you serve a search warrant, it's a violation of somebody's constitutional right. It's just almost like a super order of the court for these purposes only. And when you look at that, it clearly does not establish the probable cause. The saying that it's stolen it's a runaway. I guess what I'm saying is even on the four corners of the document, for someone to declare that it's stolen without having any proof that it is, other than having a Lincoln Park police report, which is also not even stated in the search warrant, it is an abomination to say that person's property should be intruded upon. And for that purpose, I believe the search should be suppressed. And it's a four corners argument. I mean, even beyond the evidentiary hearing, but you have some supplemental information to gauge that on, and to gauge what's not in there. So you yourself, and I know sometimes he would be entitled to an evidentiary hearing, but we're moving on the four corners of the document. Then secondly, there's no ability for my client to gauge what was actually retrieved from that particular property, since the police department decided, I'm going to take this evidence, which right out of the scene, it's right as works, that day was given back to these individuals. So in the face of having a document that says and puts into question who is in fact the real owner, is it Robert Zachary or the individual that we described that's in the bill of sale, or is it this individual Santos, or excuse me, Alanis? So with those things in play, there is a comedy of different things that should prevent this from being bound over. And I think that constitutionally it shouldn't be bound over at all, because I believe that the search warrant is a runaway bastion of injustice to allow that to stand as a search warrant that establishes probable cause. And particularly in this situation, like you said, doesn't matter what he thinks. But again, it's important as to what was transposed, and also you go into, there is a question of credibility, whether it be credibility or memory. They said that he identified himself. It's clear from that report he didn't. Now, maybe his memory serves differently, but as I asked him those questions, he didn't say that his report was wrong. He just said that was what happened, but his report clearly doesn't say that. So you can do this a couple of different ways. You could either say that he's maligned and he's not telling the truth, or his memory is just not as he recounts those events. Because one or two of them exist. One, Miss Tecco was the one who only provided her information, or two, that just didn't happen that he provided his information. Well, it's more than one thing. You got various, many different variables of how you can take that. But again, all of these factors, I surmise and ask the court to make a finding that there should not have been an intrusion onto this particular property with that particular search warrant. Furthermore, there's no establishment that he stole anything. There's a bill of sale inside the property for that particular piece of property that's in question.
That's not signed.
No, it is signed. Or maybe it doesn't being signed.
The one I've got, it's not signed. The one I've got looks like somebody printed it off a computer.
No. I've got one. Well, I gave you the wrong one then. I'm sorry, guys.
Judge, can I get a copy of the search warrant?
No, because I'm reading that right now.
Oh,
I want to read the affidavit.
that's the one it's the separate one.
All right, so we should correct the record if you want me to rely on this
I
one.
do. Well, I would ask you-
Substitute this one for the one council's saying.
Then instead of, I don't think we can destroy it from the record. Could we make that A2? Okay.
Whatever you two agree on is okay with me.
It's-
Are you okay with doing an A7?
I'm okay with introducing both of these. If they were both in the discovery packet that was turned over from our office, I was stipulate any.
So let's give the unmarked one to Heather and she's gonna mark that as 7A. Mr. Perkins, was that your A2? Okay, okay. All right. So, Mr. Perkins, I want to make sure I understand your argument. First one, I understand you don't think the search warrant gave them a right to search.
Correct.
Okay. No, you can sit. That's all right. The next issue is how does this bill of sale lead to a dismissal of these charges?
No, what I'm saying is that their determination as to whether or not, this item was stolen.
Right.
You don't have he says he saw a Lincoln Park police report. We don't have, and he says that he received information that it was a valid and made report, but there's no affirmation or anything other than a person, just let's say, for instance.
All right, let me stop you. You're not saying, this argument's not going to the search warrant. This argument's going to the bind over because they didn't prove anything was stolen.
Well, it helps with the search warrant to the extent that in the search warrant, they list that serial number to establish
Okay.
that that's it. But that primarily goes to saying that nothing was stolen.
Okay.
And they haven't established, and it does go to the search warrant to the extent that what they use is, sort of like, lacking in any, investigatory steps to substantiate in a sworn affidavit. What
Right.
missing is that they swore in an affidavit that it's stolen,
Right.
but they did nothing to substantiate it other than a person saying it and having gone, apparently, for the purpose of this record, having gone into Lincoln Park Police Department to make a report to that effect, nothing further. And yet, in the face of all that, you see a bill of sale that has that serial number and it questions it and it's signed by someone else, which would further lead, okay, if, as the officer said, that item was stolen before the transaction date on it. He's a BFP. Clearly by the signed document, he's a BFP by someone else. So if he's in possession of that, having been signed, and Aaron, I can't remember the individual's name, and I don't want to butcher it, but that individual declaring that he has a bill of sale that he signs off on it, he thereby becomes a BFP. So this is not even a question of fact as it relates to who stole this item and whether or not he knowingly, or any evidence to say that he knowingly possessed stolen property.
Okay. And then you had a third item, which was something about the ID.
No,
How they found out who he was.
but more so the investigatory steps, and that went to John,
Okay.
Alice, or John's, the testimony.
Okay. 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 All right. Okay. I want to make sure I understood the arguments before I give Mr. Muhammad a chance to respond. So this is your chance to respond.
Judge, what was the name on that, bill of sale?
On the bill of sale, it's Aaron Robert Zachary.
Judge, we don't have any information as of right now that I'm aware of. Even though OIC is here, I think, in regard to that is, So we frankly, he does, the officer in charge doesn't even know where it's come from.
What came from a desk drawer?
I know it's a photo,
Came from the defendant's desk drawer is what I heard.
and so I don't know what exactly it is, because I don't know if it's a situation, and I don't wanna speculate, right?
No, that's fine.
Potentially, like, if he's forging a document, that's possible, but what we know for sure is that the officer had contact with the owner of the property. And that the owner of the property had reported it stolen, which led them to that location based off of the pings.
Can I,
So that's just, go ahead.
go ahead, Emma.
And then in regards to,
Well, can I reach that point before you?
Yeah.
So the only evidence that you say that anyone in this whole debacle is an owner is Aaron Zachary. There's no information, no documentation from the other individual, Mr. Alanis, that says he's the owner, nothing. He didn't get anything from him. The only thing that you have in front of you, and there's no investigation as to whether that, and having did anything to impugn that particular document for this purposes, they gotta go start over again. But I don't think they start over again because I still think the search warrant is bad, but nonetheless, this is a situation in which they don't have, there's nothing on this record. The only thing on this record that substantiates or indicates that an individual is the owner of a document that you have in front of you, is the state of Michigan document, it's a bill of sale being sold by the owner.
The council, this has not been processed by the state of
It
Michigan.
doesn't, they don't.
It's not completely filled out by the state of Michigan or anybody else.
It-
Doesn't have a buyer's name on it.
Right, but I'm saying, it's like I buy cars, and I buy a car from used car. All I want them to do, all I want the owner to do is to sign the title. That's how documents and items in the state of Michigan that have those type of serial numbers are transferred. Because that's, otherwise it'd be, well, in real property, we talk about the violation of statute of frauds. But in this situation, the only thing, because as much as you may want to look at that document.
But hold on, let me cut you off because I got a lot of stuff scheduled today. And I love the argument, but I'm not buying the argument. Because when I go and buy something and the seller signs off as on the bill of sale, I don't take his driver's license home with me and put it in the drawer with the bill of sale. This, to me, if the driver's license for Aaron Robert Zachary is found where this is and the buyer information is blank, this is what he's getting ready to pass off when he sells that stolen skid steer. Look, here's the ID. He's my buddy. Here's the bill of sale. He signed off. We're going to put your name in here and send you on your way with this $20,000 piece of equipment. That's what this looks like to me.
I understand, but I think that in order to make that assessment, we have so many things that they haven't established on the record. The only thing we have on the record is that other than the statement.
No. But that's not the only thing. We've got the officer's testimony that he met a guy that not only had the serial numbers, if they're not his, how did he have the serial number for him? He also had the tracker for the equipment to show the officer, this is where the tracker shows my equipment is. Just a random guy going down the street's not going to have that to show the officer. And it's a probable cause hearing. Do they have problems to convict him in front of a trier of fact? Absolutely. But a probable cause hearing today? It's enough. And I got to tell you, and you know, I've been signing search warrants for a long time. I would have signed this search warrant without a second thought. What it says, what Judge Green was given was, on Tuesday, owner reports items stolen, and they're listed, obviously. Item 1. Item 2, owner met with Romulus PD, showed the tracker for one of the items at the location that they wanted to search for. That and that alone would have caused me to sign the search warrant. I love the arguments. I'm just not buying them, with all due respect. I'm going to bind over. First of all, before we get to the bind over date, sir, do you know you've got a misdemeanor pretrial up January 2nd on a drove license suspended charge? You know about that?
I thought it was January, I didn't know January 2nd, but
I've got January 2nd with Judge Martin by Zoom, 9:20. All right. So on this file, there's all the exhibits. Pardon? Yeah. Yeah. This one, defense plaintiff. AOI date is going to be Monday. No, 2 weeks out, right? So January 6th.
Yes. Thank you.
I'll continue bond and I will wish you gentlemen good luck downtown.
Thank you so much, Aaron.
Merry Christmas, Counselor. Oh, I'm going to need your signatures on this too.
Correct.
Okay, and now in that particular drafting of that, as you read that first paragraph or the first sentence, it describes, and it doesn't describe the residence itself, is that correct?
In the first sentence, It does not.
Okay, and you agree that that first sentence, the second sentence, and you agree that words matter, do they not?
They do so.
Okay, and particularly as words are written into a search warrant, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you would agree as that document is written, and as you may read it, it does not, in that particular paragraph, does not authorize the search of the particular residence, is that correct? Or do you read it differently?
I did not see anything specific to the residence, the household.
Right. Okay, and now full disclosure, I have to be an officer of the court. Now, you would agree that in the next paragraph, I'm sorry, thank you. And to seize, secure, tabulate, regular language that you see, make, return according to law, following property and things. And it describes photographs of the interior of the house, property, outbuildings, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And in that particular paragraph, it doesn't specifically provide you with the authority to take information or take things out of the house other than what's in that paragraph, is that correct?
I can't speak on that. I'm not 100% sure on that, sir.
Okay. Now, you would agree that you described what you've done, and then you described that you contacted dispatch to confirm that that was a report that was made with Lincoln Park, correct?
That the serial numbers were matching to the report.
To the
From
report,
Lincoln Park.
correct.
Yes.
You yourself did not contact Lincoln Park, correct?
I did not contact Lincoln Park, no, sir.
Okay. You yourself did not contact the officer who authored the report from Lincoln Park, correct?
No, sir, that's not part of our protocol usually.
I understand, but you didn't, but you agree that in order to bring evidence and come into court, you understand you have to have,
Yes, sir.
you have to do the investigation and steps in order to allow this judge to pass muster, is that fair?
Absolutely.
All right, and other than, and you agree that when you talk to this individual, you didn't demand any other information other than that report, is that correct?
As which individual are you speaking of, sir?
Mr. Alanis,
Okay,
you didn't ask that Mr. Alanis to see a title, is that correct?
they don't have titles for things like that, sir.
Okay,
Yep, he
So-
didn't have those in his possession. No,
okay, he didn't have those in his possession.
correct.
And other than what is written in that Lincoln Park report, that's the only authority that you believe that you had in order to tell your team to go and execute a search warrant to conduct a further investigation of that property, is that correct?
Correct, I was working on good faith.
Understood, but you agree that by working on good faith without the investigation could have the tendency to violate something that's more important, which is the constitutional right.
Sure.
Potentially, correct?
Absolutely could.
And if that good faith was disturbed by someone else, and you don't know this individual, you didn't know Alanis, Mr. Alanis before today, right? Before
Correct.
today.
Correct.
You didn't have any personal relationship.
No, sir.
You don't know Mr. Ibrahim, is that?
No, sir.
So you had no dog in that race, is that fair?
That,
So you would agree that as you went in there as an officer, how long you been an officer?
with the Romulus Police Department a year and a half.
Okay, but you, sounds like you've been an officer longer than that.
I was at the federal government for 9 years.
Correct. Sound like. But you'd agree that to determine whether or not something is in fact stolen, you remember my objection, Brother Counsel was saying that. You'd agree that as you sit here today, the steps in determining whether something is actually stolen or not has not even been made at this point, is that fair? Other than this individual coming to you with a report saying that it's stolen, correct?
If I have a verified report from another agency, I'm gonna take that true to its word.
Understood, but what I'm saying is, all you have from that report and looking at that particular report is that someone declared in another agency that this item was stolen, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Or you have nothing else individually on your own, is that correct?
At that point, no, sir.
Okay. And you'd agree that it's at that point that you made the determination, or the determination was made in order to seek relief from the court to ultimately enter onto this property without the consent of the owner, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
You yourself never ran lien for these particular items, is that correct?
No, sir.
Okay. And you or any of your prior to, and you don't know if lien was run prior to the execution of the search warrant, correct?
I could not tell you. No, sir.
You indicated that you learned of Mr. Ibrahim's identity. That was after you entered onto the property, is that correct?
No, sir.
Okay, you learned of his identity. How was it that you learned of his identity?
Through a voluntary contact at his front door, a knock and speak.
Oh, you said he wouldn't give you his name.
He gave me his name and ID.
Okay,
Teco provided the name and ID.
okay. So Mr. Ibrahim did not.
Right.
Okay. This one.
He did yell it from inside the house, if my memory serves me correctly.
You agree in your report, can you look at page 14 of 18? You indicated after collecting information from Santos, officers made contact at the listed address. Officers knocked on the front door of the residence and spoke to male who refused to identify himself. Is that correct?
At first, yes.
Okay. And it indicates later identified as Ibrahim, is that correct?
Yes.
When is, what did you, and that's the only descriptive information? You would also agree later on in that paragraph when you asked for Ibrahim's identification or Amjad's identification, it was refused or was declined, is that correct?
Yes.
And it also indicates in there that it's only sending Kayleen Teco, Kayleen, Kayleen, Teco, Tekko, to the door to provide her information, is that correct?
He sent her to the door with his information.
What I'm saying is in that writing, what you have, I didn't misspeak, did I not?
It says officers asked Amjad for his identification and phone number, and he declined sending Kayleen Teco to the door to provide her information. Officers took her information, cleared the residence.
Correct. There's no head in there, right?
Right.
You just said words matter, do they not? And you agree that as it's written here, for anyone else to proceed, as they read this, it would not include Mr. Ibrahim as a male, is that correct?
Sure.
It would only include, as you might read it and understand it, Ms. Teco, is that correct?
Yes.
You would agree that there's certain things you said that had serial numbers, and one of the things that connected you to this particular item was the fact that there was some continuity between the serial numbers that were provided to you in that police report and that were verified when you contacted Lincoln Park, is that correct?
I did not contact Lincoln Park. They were in the police report, sir.
They were in the police, I'm saying. You contacted dispatch. I didn't misspeak, I'm sorry. You contacted dispatch, and the understanding that you had was that it was a confirmed report to Lincoln Park, correct?
Yes.
Okay. But you would agree that that in and of itself only suggests that an individual made a report that had serial numbers, but you had no other information that validated that person's assertion that it was stolen, is that correct?
And my knowledge at that time, you're correct.
And again, it's at that particular time that a search warrant was sought, correct?
Correct.
And you would agree with all your training and your understanding of how search warrants, you've done search warrants before, have you not, or been involved in search warrants?
No, sir. This is my first search warrant.
Okay. But you understand that the execution of the search warrant, at the time of the execution of the search warrant, there has to be probable cause at that particular time, correct?
Yes.
And you agree without any information substantiating whether or not that is in fact stolen, and the information that you had, that's not probable cause, is that fair?
I provided the information I was given, and a search warrant was applied not by me, sir. So I did not make that determination.
But
I provided my information to my supervisors, and it went through channels. So I cannot speak on the probable cause that they saw. I gave them my information.
Can I throw that report?
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Okay. And you would agree that the information that you provided. Just a moment. The information that you provided was that an individual said something was stolen from their lot, is that correct?
Not just said something, but had a verified police report from another agency.
Understood, but in this situation, it does not, just a moment. You'd agree that in this particular affidavit, because it's the affidavit that precedes getting the search warrant signed, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you'd agree that in this search warrant, it doesn't reference the Lincoln Park Police Report, is that correct?
I'm unaware, I did not offer the,
But you can review it, let me ask you to review it. And I know, I understand, but you'd agree that you're the source of information that was used by another officer for the purposes of seeking that search warrant, correct?
yes, sir.
Okay. You'd agree that in that report, in that affidavit, it doesn't reference anything about a Lincoln Park Police Report, is that correct?
Through a quick review, I did not see any updates.
Okay, well, take all the time you need.
Yep.
Okay, but you would agree, as I'm asking that question, even quick review or longer review, you don't believe that it's gonna reference in that particular document a Lincoln Park Police Report, is that correct?
I believe so, sir, yes.
Okay, and you would agree that only thing that it says in there is that it's information provided, assuming by you, because you related to, I believe you said Sergeant Otter,
Yes,
correct? Otter, Otter, Commonsville.
yes,
Okay. That you related there, that an individual said that this vehicle was, these items were stolen, is that correct?
correct,
All right, and provided you some serial numbers.
correct.
Okay, and you can only assume, based upon what you're reading in the four corners of that document, that that was all that was provided to a judge who signed that particular search warrant, is that correct?
That assumption, yes, sir.
Okay. Again, as you read that, Mayor.
Yes.
As you read that, you would agree that that information, because you said, you said it a couple of times, which was significant about what you felt further the investigation was that you had a validated report from Lincoln Park, correct?
Yep.
But you'd agree that that information was not, also not in this search warrant, correct?
I did not see it in that search warrant.
Okay, and you would agree that without that information, because you made it a critical part of your determination of it being probable cause to go further into this investigation with the search warrant, that it not being there, that would jaundice or take away your ability to assert that there's probable cause, in your opinion.
I don't have an opinion, sir, I speak in facts, so I can't really speak an opinion.
There's a fact that this Lincoln Park Police Report is not in there, correct? It's a fact that you made a determination that the Lincoln Park Police Report was important in your determination as to whether there's probable cause, correct?
I did not make that determination.
But
So
you-
I made the determination based on what I had at that time to make a voluntary contact at the front door.
Understood, but you, in your assessment,
Yes,
you described, because I said, in your determination of whether there's probable cause, I said, you only have the information of this individual who said it's stolen, and you offered that it was, oh no, I had a validated or a Lincoln Park Police Report, is that correct?
yes, sir.
You would agree that based upon that colloquy that you and I had, that was an element in your mind and in your opinion, that probable cause was more solidified with the assertion of it being a validated Lincoln Park Police Report, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and without it, it takes away from your determination, in your opinion. I understand there are other people's opinions that play here, but in your opinion, a probable cause at that point without that information, correct?
I don't believe so. I-
Why not? Why, well, let me ask you this. Will you agree, you understand the term superfluous or redundant? You would agree that it's superfluous to add, if you don't believe so, and you offered those information when I asked you those questions.
Yeah.
Then it was superfluous to add in the fact that it was a validated Lincoln Park Police.
Sure.
Okay. But that thing goes against what we talked about as far as when I said that that was the only reason why you felt. that-
Mr. Perkins. As soon as I get done scribbling on it, Joe. And then round up another one.
Your Honor, briefly, I did want to address one thing. They took approximately $7,000 out of this residence. And it was in the young lady's, and Ms. Keckle was not here.
I'm listening.
It was in her purse. And I've been asking for that back since then, and it's has nothing to do with this investigation, has nothing to do with Ms. Keckle. And I'm saying essentially, Keckle, who was here the last time we were here for a PCC, and I'm asking for those items back, that
Cash.
cash back.
Good, so I am under the understanding that there was money recovered, however, what the officers relayed to me was that there was other drugs recovered at this location that had been submitted to MSP, and there may be additional charges being added to this case. They believe that this money is associated with the drug sales, as well as potentially receiving stolen items. And so what they told me that they observed was that there was the driver's license, along with other identification of the defendant in that bag. So they were under the impression that his cards as well as the cash that he had in his possession were placed in that bag. So that's what I believe. I think it's still related to this case. And I think it stems out of potentially added charges to come. But I understand the defense's position as well.
Has nothing to do with Ms. Tenko. She's not, other than being president of that property, she has nothing to do with that. As you can see, because we're making it a different issue, this individual's been injured and was injured at that time of this incident. She is his girlfriend who goes and gets his medicine and everything. He's got to have a replacement.
His legs.
Right, and so there's nothing to suggest why they would take, and these are the.
Let me cut you off again. I think what needs to happen is somebody on her behalf needs to file a motion for return of property.
Oh,
If I understood you correctly, it came out of her purse. Okay. Unfortunately, I don't think it would be me now because I've just lost jurisdiction on this.
oh,
No,
I-
don't blame me for asking though. Let's get another exam in here. Next one on my docket would be Patton. What's that? Patton is, yeah, we'll do pool because pool's a waiver. Okay. Jeff, you on more of these?
Yeah, I got two. Well, one's a CSC, but I don't know if you're getting that one, or you have one for.
I think I'm the only one that's got anything scheduled today. Joe just told me we're gonna waive on pool.
Yes.
I have the last one here, here on there is. Campbell waived. Let's see, this one.
Campbell, we bench warranted.
Alice, I don't think that's- I think-
I've got Tallis, James, and Patton and Pool left.
Alice, and I also have, yeah, Patton, so I have.
All right. Appearances on Pool.
Patent's probably gonna be a whole.
Afternoon, Your Honor, my mom was telling me I have people PA 677.
Then I do your honor, introduce yourself before I prepare you to have with the tools, if there's a person to the left, please state your name.
Murray Poole.
Thank you. We're waiving, counsel?
This project or means you will be given the benefit by version.
All right. Mr. Poole, you understand your rights and options after discussing those with counsel?
Yes, sir.
You understand the purpose for the exam that's scheduled for today?
Yes, sir.
You understand that a waiver means the file's going downtown for the next step in the proceedings? And understanding all of that, you're waiving freely and voluntarily? Counselors, are you satisfied with the waiver? Mr. Mohammed, satisfied with the waiver? All right, good luck downtown, Mr. Poole. Counsel, I need signatures from you and Mr. Poole.
I guess I'm gonna get the arraignment date.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, January 6th, 9 a.m. I wrote it. I just didn't do it. 9. Mr. Washington, are you ready on Patton?
Yes, Your Honor.
As soon as they clear that table, come on up. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, let me get some more water.
Good, good. Thank you. You just get that monitor, so you get the status of.
First one, with the bill of sale on. But, you know, yeah, being a good advocate. Appearances on patent, please.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Eric Moses on behalf of the people, 78491.
Good afternoon, Your Honor, Earl Washington, neighborhood service, B 31383, on behalf of Ms. Chavette Patton.
Okay.
Thank you. We ready?
Yes, Your Honor. The people have only one witness in this case, this is juvenile,
All right,
Ralph Lindsay.
I'm gonna shut this down. Joe, why not?
Shut down the light.
I don't think Teresa's out there. I've talked to her 3 times today. She hasn't answered me. I think she just got her TV on.
So do you want me to shut everything down?
Yeah. We're not expecting anybody, was though.
Mr. Mullen.